What's up? This is Scott Stapp, and you're on BackstageAxxess.com, where the real show begins. Rock on!
BackstageAxxess.com. Gus here, and we're here with one of the greatest singers to come out of the 1990s. Obviously, still a great singer today after I just heard his sound check. You haven't lost anything.
Thanks, man. How you doing?
Good. Here with Scott Stapp, and you guys probably out there probably remember Scott from a little band out of the 90s called Creed. Maybe the biggest band out of the 1990s. Here in town at the lovely Bears Den, maybe probably in my opinion, the best place to see a show in this area. And after you just got off the stage seeing it, your opinion of the venue?
I love it. I love the way the stage is set up and how the bleachers kind of go around the seats. It's real vibe oriented.
Very intimate. If you guys haven't seen the Bears Den, you definitely have to check it out. It's like I said, it's amazing little place for any type of artist, big artists like yourself or small artists to come in and play. But you're in town to do a show here, and Proof of Life, your new CD that just came out about 7 months, actually November of last year, and in support of that. This is a very, very intimate record for you, very personal, and the lyrical content. I mean, this had to be really difficult for you to write, I'm assuming, because it's a lot of past experiences and what you've gone through lately.
I think it was more difficult to live than to write about it.
All right.
You know what I mean? The process that kind of inspired these songs was not a good time in my life,
right.
And I'm thankful to be on the other side of it. And with this record, just like the title implies, I felt hostage, like I was a prisoner, man. And so beginning to come out of that really unleashed a flow of emotions and addressing things that caused me to get there, and taking responsibility. And so I just poured that into the record, man.
And there's a lot of different artists that contributed to this record.
Yeah.
Tyler Connolly from Theory of a Dead Man, Phil X, actually plays with Bon Jovi, Dave Bass and Mitch Allen, Scott Stevens. Man. How did you reach out to certain people? Was there certain people that you wanted to get involved, or some people that say, hey, I want to be involved? How did that work out?
I was a fan of their work. There was something that attracted me to them and how they played or what they had previously done that I respected, because I really went through this process where I wanted to grow as a songwriter and challenge myself and be around someone where I didn't feel so comfortable to get in the same old habits, change. And Howard Benson, I love him, but he's kind of a mad scientist.
I was going to get into that.
So I think when he heard that and we started talking about it, he really outlined a path for me to write this record, where I was in a new situation every day with somebody new, someone that I wanted to work with and respected, right. But always new environment, always new situation. And so it was facing uncomfortable feelings. And the awesome thing about all these artists is we just connected as artists. It wasn't a competition. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying?
Right. And you think maybe even working, doing all these different things each day, as you said, it was a new challenge. Yeah. You think that brought the best out in you? Because hearing the record really was a great record.
Absolutely. And then, of course, Howard, too, challenged me to keep it simple and not over-explain or leave too many things open for interpretation. And so we didn't second guess a lot of the emotions and the feelings and then the initial musical expressions. We just kind of let them be.
And Howard Benson out there, in case people didn't know, producer who's produced pretty much everybody from you guys to Hailstorm. Everybody's been involved with. And in speaking with Howard, he produced the last Creed record, and working with him with the band and working with him solo, do you find it more difficult being a solo? Like you said, it was a little bit more of a challenge than actually being in a 4-piece unit, maybe?
Well, when I first met with Howard in 2008, it was to make solo record number 2. And then situations arose, and I reconnected with my buddies, and we made a Creed record and decided to use Howard. And I was fortunate to have already a little bit of a relationship with him. And so in working with him as a band, yes, his time is more split off.
Right.
But as a solo artist, I got to, it was one-on-one and every day just challenging each other. And it was definitely, I came out of the project a better artist.
And talking about how you were saying earlier about, living the actual it was a little bit, obviously, a lot more difficult than actually writing about it. But talking about the first single, Slow Suicide, and the actual video for itself, and, it's very, very powerful. And, the video obviously shows that. Was that a choice that you wanted to do and say, I really want this single to be the first to kind of show what the record's about?
I definitely think that we wanted something that was going to garner some attention, that represented a reality and something that was authentic about the record, but may catch someone off guard or just have some kind of impact. And with the video, I also wanted it to be reality. I wanted it to represent the realities of some of the dark times in my life and how that was slow suicide. And, some days it could have been suicide, because I was making decisions that had bad, terrible consequences with alcohol and drugs. And so, I felt as part of me overcoming that and just being transparent and honest, that song represented kind of a confession from me that, I'm not going to pretend, but here's where I am now.
Right.
And let's just get this out of the way. Yep. You know what I mean?
And there's a message. Obviously, you watch the video, it shows, all the trials and tribulations, but at the end, it's kind of like, if you have an issue, please reach out for help. And speaking about going into that a little bit in talking about one of your mishaps that people out there, if they read that, they kind of see that a rapper kind of actually came to your rescue a little bit, and they probably wouldn't guess that rapper T.I. in Miami. And tell us about the experience you had regarding that.
I tell you, it's so crazy. Like you'd be like, there's no way that happened. Like, you got to be making stuff.
You can laugh
up.
about it now, obviously.
South Beach, a lot of people who are in the entertainment and public eye are down there quite a bit. And, I was on a bench and had an accident messing around on the balcony of the penthouse floor. And
of what hotel?
The Delano Hotel in South Beach. And fortunately landed on a ledge about 40 feet down. Or I definitely would have surely died. And, I had a broken hip and some other injuries, and T.I., walked out on his balcony, right place, right time. So, but it was the beginning of coming to terms with and being where I am now,
And in 2012, you kind of wrote about a lot of these experiences in Sinner's Creed. And but most artists actually, when they have a career, they kind of pen their life story to paper a lot later in life, in their 50s or 60s or whatever have you. But you kind of did it earlier. And was that the right time, you think, to do that?
Yeah, it was for me.
Okay.
It was because of how it started and then what releasing it to the public meant in my life. It started out where I was just, in rehab, man, alone, facing the consequences of, using and drinking and how that had affected my life, and was at a place of real humility and desperation. And a counselor suggested that I, hey man, start the day you were born and get it all out. Make sense of it. And then when you're done, you can read it to me, and then we'll, burn it. Well, after going through that process, over time, I talked with my wife and shared some of it with her, and she encouraged me to put it out. And then as I learned how I could, the process of recovery and addiction, and getting your life back after trauma or, a dark period, is in helping others with the same issue. You help yourself. It doesn't mean that you're healed. It doesn't mean that you're never going to make a mistake or that you're never going to slip back into those behaviors. But, we live one day at a time. And so in a regard, it was part of me exposing it and saying, help me be accountable. I'm not going to pretend. And then others come to me. And as I'm able to share my story and how I've gotten and made it through today so far, that helps them and it helps me.
Now we're going to switch subjects and get off a little bit and try to lighten the mood a little bit. This is a very, very serious interview, but let's talk about sports a little bit and your relationship with baseball. And you actually wrote a song for the Florida Marlins, and I think it's kind of cool. So tell the fans out there, how you got involved with doing that, and if you're are you a really big sports fan? Or
I love sports and have my whole life. And living in South Florida, we have the Dolphins and the Miami Marlins. And, I was asked to do a song for them and reworked one of my tunes and, thought it was a pretty good trade for making that relationship with them and being able to go to games and get my family taken care of. And it was a good situation, but also just being involved with Major League Baseball. I'm a lifetime Atlanta Braves fan.
Has that rubbed off on the Braves yet? Have they come calling yet?
have been at times fans of individual teams.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But it was just something cool.
Like you're talking about the Atlanta Braves, have they reached out to you to do anything or not yet?
I'm waiting for my draft notice, man.
Actually, this year's a big year for Atlanta because they got two guys going in the Hall of Fame. We got Maddox and Glavine.
Those guys belong in the Hall of Fame. I remember.
Who's had a better
back in the
'80s, in the '90s
before they got there? We had Rick Mailer,
Dale Murphy,
and Sutcliffe, Rafael Ramirez, and Glenn Hubbard.
Lean years.
Yes.
But you enjoyed a long run. Actually, still enjoying a long run.
So, Glavine and Maddox and Smoltz were unbelievable. So, love the Braves. See, I am a fan.
You wouldn't see a better pitching staff than those guys in the 90s, that's for sure. They're amazing. You were working on some Creed material with the guys a couple years back, and then it kind of got scrapped for some reason, and the guys decided to do Alter Bridge, and what we mean is the other three guys in Creed. So, and I don't want to pinpoint anybody in the band, but what happened there, and what's your relationship with any of the guys today? Is there an open line of communication?
Absolutely.
Or okay,
we have no problems communicating our thoughts and opinions to each other. That's your family, your brothers, and so. During that process, we just got to a point where, we can write songs. Mm-hmm. Yes, we even like them. It's like putting on an old baseball glove, and there's obvious chemistry. Our hearts just weren't into it. We were being pulled in different directions. I think, and our success and what the fans gave us back in the day, I guess, gave us the ability to have choices.
Yeah.
And, so, it's always there. But when it feels right and it's authentic and real and there's nothing else we'd rather be doing. Mm-hmm. And I think the fans deserve that. And I think, support that, with us. And so, my best to those guys. And when it comes around, it comes around.
Right. So obviously you're saying that always a possibility the door is open for another Creed record or a Creed tour.
You're right. Okay. You're right. I don't know if is anytime soon.
Right.
Because I'm really enjoying this season in my life, this place, and feel fulfilled. And so I don't want the fans to get their hopes up for any time soon, but you know, won't close the door.
And speaking about what you're enjoying now and big tour right now and the stretch of it right here in Niagara Falls, what can the fans expect going forward from you, Scott Stapp, solo artist, the rest of 2014 and maybe even going into 2015?
Most definitely. I think, you know, to talk about my show and the live show is, you know, it's kind of a mystical, spiritual drama set to rock and roll music, with all the ebbs and flows of our emotional existence and how, you know what I mean? And I really pour my heart and soul into it. And, you know, I think from there, I just want to continue to put out some new music. There's a couple songs that I didn't get back to during the record.
Okay.
And I've been tossing around the idea of getting those finished and putting that out. And, you know, we've done some videoing of the live show. And so there's some things that we're you know, throwing around. We just want to make sure they're good. And,
Right.
and then, you know, we're talking about another video, possibly for Jesus Was a Rock Star. So, you know, just want to keep being fresh and you know.
So possibly a new live DVD.
Yes.
Possibly. And maybe, like you said, maybe doing a bonus kind of disc with some new material.
Or just putting out
Yep.
a couple new songs.
Okay. Check out your site, scottstapp.com, I'm hoping.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Got that right. Proof of Life. Go check it out. It's a great record. Very personal. Hits home. A lot of messages there. Great rock. A lot of good riffs. A lot of good melody. And check out the tour. I think you got a couple more weeks in the States.
Yeah, we do. Actually, we're going to be doing shows all the way through August.
Okay, and
So
then, you know, check out for
coming
future,
to a town near you.
for future dates. Check out scottstapp.com, BackstageAxxess.com. Thanks for taking the time.
Rock on. Thanks, brother.
I'm just human, there's a part of you, it's just like me. I have fallen, I have broken every